Dusty. Why is it so dusty? I don't get it. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon and welcome back to my channel where I talk about camera gear, computers, and all things tech. If you're into that, you should definitely hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all the videos that I put out, which is going to be more frequent, probably every week. Today's video, I decided to go over all the lenses that I have, pretty much all the lenses that I own for my two cameras. I have 6 lenses total, including the kit lens. So without further ado, let's go over the first lens, which will be the Sigma 16mm 1.4. I can't show you that lens because it's on my camera. It's the one that you're looking through right now. I've done a whole review on that lens on another video, and I'll link it like right up here somewhere. And if you're interested, you can go check it out. If not, that's cool too. But it's a great lens. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've heard of Sigma. You've heard of the holy trinity of the Sigma lenses. I don't have all three. I just had the Sigma. Great lens. It's 1.4. Can't go wrong. I love it. So the next lens would probably be the Sony 35mm 1.8. That was the second lens I ever bought. Just a quick story, last year or 2 years ago, my fiance and I, we flew to New York City, and I couldn't go to New York City and not go to B&H. So while I was there, I bought a lens. You know, this is about a $400 lens, I think now, and kind of pricey, but not too pricey when you consider all prices of all camera gear. It's not too bad of a price. But I figured I'd get the 35 because that's a pretty good focal length. You can use it for portraits, you can use it for YouTube videos, you can use it for video. And the main reason why I stick with the Sony lenses is because of the OSS. The two cameras I have, the a61 and the a64, don't have in-body stabilization. So that's why I stick with the Sony lenses, just because I get that OSS in case I do want to vlog or if I'm moving around. It'll just kind of keep things stable. So, you know, the 35mm, I don't use it that often, but I probably should. The next lens that I bought actually was the Sony 18-105 f4. I have it on my 6100 right now. When I first bought this lens, I bought it used, by the way, on B&H. I bought it online like a few months later. The reason I bought this lens originally was because the zoom is internal, meaning when you zoom in and out, it doesn't. There's no movement. It's just all internal. At the time, I kept thinking that I was going to use a gimbal that I have, and I figured I could throw this on there and I won't have to readjust the gimbal for the weight. Well, bought the lens and I didn't use it for a long time. It just sat up on my shelf and got dust on it. And then recently I started doing long exposure photography, and I brought this lens out, and now I love this lens. I can't take it off my camera. I love the fact that it has that wide focal length or long focal length, 18-105, and f4 is really not that bad. When you really think about it, f4 isn't that bad. It's not that great, but it's not that bad. f4 you can make work. You know, my real photographers out there know what I'm talking about. f4 you can make that work. And video too. But you know, it's a sharp lens, and it has that OSS, which again, it's a major plus with the two cameras that I have. So I got that lens. The next one that I bought was the Sony 50mm 1.8. I'm sure, again, it's a prime lens, just like the 35. It's an even better focal length for portrait photography. It looks great in video because that compression that it creates. Again, I really don't use this lens that often, like I probably should, especially for video. But a lot of my videos are going to be, you know, in my office slash, you know, it's like an extra room that's a half an office. But that's where my videos are primarily recorded, just like this. So that's why I keep the 16 on that camera all the time. The 50, again, sharp, wide aperture at 1.8, and it's got OSS. Those are all the three. Those were the three things that matter to me when I'm lens shopping. So, again, all these lenses are pretty affordable, and they've all been well reviewed on YouTube. And then I have the kit lens, which comes with the camera. You know, a kit lens is a kit lens. Not that great, but if that's all you have, it will work. So, you know, I'm not going to talk about that too much. The last lens is actually a pretty cool lens that a buddy of mine gave me. It's a vintage lens made by Minolta, which is an old brand. They've been around for a long time, and they specialize in manual lenses. This lens came off an old 1970s film camera, and this is what they used back in the old days before we went electronic and digital. This is a cool lens because, you know, the aperture, you know, it's all manual. You have to turn a little ring just like you would a zoom ring, and you have to focus. You have an actual focus ring. You have to, you know, if you're too far or too close and you're not focusing, you know, you're going to have to be mobile with this lens. But this lens is super sharp. It produces incredible photos and video. But for video, the only thing is, you know, you got to keep changing the focus if your subject is moving. But for photography, this thing here, 50 is a good focal length, like I said before, for portraits. But these lenses are super cheap. You can go to any thrift store in your local town or area or city, and I guarantee you they're going to have at least one old film vintage camera, and it's probably going to have this lens or just a different brand. And they'll probably sell it for like 20 bucks. That's not a bad price for a 50 millimeter 1.7 lens. It's manual, but it's 50 mil at 1.7. You know, you can't get a electronic or a digital lens for that price. Anyways, those are all my lenses that I currently own. My next lens that I might buy is probably going to be that Sony 10-18, which is a wide-angle lens. I've been wanting that lens for a long time, but I'm really struggling with flushing out, you know, 900 bucks for that lens, because that's pretty pricey. And that'll probably be the most expensive lens that I have out of all these. But it's super wide, and I really like that for doing YouTube videos, especially if I do more vlogging. Again, it has an OSS. I did a review on the 16 millimeter. I'll check that out, and I'm probably going to review each one of these lenses, not the kit lens. You know, kit lens is a kit lens. But I'm going to review these other 4 lenses. So be on the lookout for that. And again, if you're new to this channel, subscribe so you can, you know, be notified when I drop these videos, because they're coming sooner than you think. Anyways, also give this video a thumbs up, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Be safe and peace.